All right, everyone, welcome back. Man, it feels like it's been like 2 months since we've last streamed. My goodness, it has been a while. So, welcome back, guys. So I guess the reason why we kind of didn't do a stream last week is because I was part of the general meeting when it came to San Antonio Mountain River Association. So just to let you guys know, every second Friday of the month we will not be doing a live stream. Instead, I will be joined over with Artie stream on Saturday evenings. So you can join me there on the Aussie American YouTube channel. He does a podcast every Saturday nights that I try to join on. He has an open panel. And so kind of showcased the layout a little bit over there, kind of a teaser for you guys. And so, yeah, it's been quite a 2 weeks, let me tell you. So a lot of things happened that I wasn't expecting to happen. So, but let's go ahead and welcome all of our friends here again. Welcome to all the lurkers out there. Also to Real Fan K. I hope you're doing well, good sir. And let's go ahead and just dive right into what kind of happened. So, it is story time with the dragon. So, I'm thinking, all right, you know what? I need to test out a few things. So, about 2 weeks ago, I booted up everything, and it's like, let me work on my scenes a little bit, get them to where I need to fine-tune a few things, right? And so I turn everything on and realize, oh no, my security cameras will not turn on. Like, the actual box itself was sending a signal, HDMI signal, to my capture card. And, yeah, it was sending no signal, which means that the box itself was fine. But what I had soon discovered is that the video processing chip within the motherboard of the signal box itself had fried because we had a bad storm a couple of weeks ago that was causing the power to surge. And I thought my camera system was connected to an outlet that was surge protected. Come to find out, it was connected to the only power strip that was not surge protection within the entire house. Like, every other power strip that I had was surge protected, except for the one that the camera card was connected to. And so as a result, it was turning my camera system on and off with each surge, and it finally surged out the video chip, making it useless. So yeah, rest in peace, old camera system. So if you guys have been following my live streams, you know, I've always wanted to upgrade the camera system to 4K, get a 4K capture card, and so forth. So that's what we did. We had to make the emergency to get all the cameras swapped over. And so that was why I really didn't do any videos last week, along with schoolwork that I had to deal with. And so, yeah, it was basically shorts for the past 2 weeks because I was frantically getting these new cameras up and going, along with getting a whole new setup going for the next stage that we need to get this setup going to. So I also got a new 4-monitor display, which I had for a while. I just didn't put it up. And then I realized when the camera system went out, I basically had to entirely overhaul this studio. So it was quite time consuming, to say the least. And then, so my new 4K capture card, so let's talk about that. It was working just fine on Artie Stream last week. And then it just died like the last 10 minutes of the stream. It's like, okay, I'm not sure if this is normal or not. And so I did some more further testing. And I think with the 4K output that I was doing with the security cameras, even though it says 4K, I think there's something that I think I pushed my capture card too hard to what the security system was pushing. And I think I absolutely did something to the chip in there that will not recognize the 4K signal from my box anymore. It still captures everything, but I had to switch over to my old capture card, which is still good. I think it's actually capturing 1080p, which is fine. I'll take it. It's HD. We've met the criteria because I can only output 1080p 60 frames per second anyway, thanks to OBS and YouTube. So I'm already throttled down from 4K, but in the event that we could go 4K on YouTube or in OBS, I can do it. So, but for now, we can get it into 4K. So that's kind of been a disaster the last 2 weeks has been. And so let me show you kind of the end result here. So here we are. This is the new cameras that we have. I still got to adjust the main one over to my left. It's still going to my old capture card, which is a little bit delayed, about 2 seconds. So you'll kind of see a little bit of a delay when it comes to that. But for all things considered, it works. And close up, it is still kind of blurry. I was trying to work through everything to get everything working. Trying to get the superintendent's attention because I don't want her on the layout right now. Come here. Come here, you. You can sit on my lap. All right. So it's just been crazy because at the same time of upgrading these camera systems, I was working on this bad boy over here. So from the stream 2 weeks ago, I was working on the brand new Wave modular. And in fact, we have the Wave modular operational. Now there's kind of one last thing that I gotta do on this modular. And that is to power up the frog. So this is a Unifrog Pico Code 83 switches, number 6s. And so what I haven't done yet is feed the rail A and rail B to the, I can't remember the device, but the device that allows you to change the state of the frog, power the frog, and change the state depending on if it's thrown or closed. So that still needs to happen. And then I'll go over kind of the parts that are there. What's cool about this modular is that I've got digital push buttons next to the turnouts there. And I'll see, so yeah, on this camera view right here, you can kind of see the little push buttons there that are onto the side. That's a momentary push button that I got from Amazon. And those are connected to my DS74, basically digital turnout control that is connected to LocalNet, which allows me to control the turnouts from basically JMRI, from my throttles, and so forth. So, and also you guys getting a sneak peek of the train that we're running today. I just let it run around because I was having a little bit of issues with the coaches, and I had to a point where I was working just fine, and I said, screw it, we're just going to keep it running and hopefully get no issues. So, in celebration of the big boy arriving at Omaha, Nebraska, we are running kind of our poor man's version of the excursion train around the layout today, and we'll get on board on that train a little bit later. But it's big board number 4018 along with the Union Pacific diesel SD70 ACE number 8312. So that is what we're going to be running around the layout today. But for now, we have a lot more things to discuss. So all right, if I can find the right, there we go, we can find the right scene. So yeah, a lot of work has been going down behind the scenes. Like I said, I've got my 4 monitor display, I've got 2 monitors here, and I'll eventually have future growth of 2 monitors on top. Eventually I want to put the chat, you guys, on the left hand side so I can see you nice and bright, and then on the right hand side is going to be my digital dispatch board of this particular layout, so that way I can control the layout from basically from a dispatching perspective. We're almost there. My only hiccup right now is my computer. My computer only has 2 outputs for monitors. I've been trying every which way to try to get the additional 2 that I need, but what it boils down to is I need a new computer. So we're kind of on hold on that for right now, but eventually we'll get there. Unfortunately, Broadway Limited is kind of taking up all my train budget right now, thanks to the new GS4s that are coming out. But for now, this will still work for now, and I'm kind of quite happy about that. So yeah, appreciate that. But yeah, so that's kind of what we've been doing. Let's go to the Icey news, because it's been a lot of news as well. So let's go ahead and go, not there, let's go here. So KPKC has been in the news recently, and so I do appreciate all you guys that watched my video. Again, it's been kind of a hit, and I appreciate all you guys' support on that. I originally stated that I think it was leaked, but because KPKC won't confirm or deny that this is the schemes, right now basically it is rumored Again, I put rumor because it hasn't been confirmed, but it's on trains.com, which is a good source for railroading information and news. And so here's kind of our paint schemes. We got, option 1 here, option 2, there's option 3, option 4, and option 5. Me personally, I like option 1. I'm kind of a big fan of this kind of red transition to black type of scheme. It just looks unique. It looks different. It looks clean. Option 2, I mean, it's okay. It just looks very, very generic to other kind of styles that I've seen. Again, same with option 4. It seems kind of boring to me. Option 5, I think there's too much yellow on the bottom here. Again, I'm trying to criticize art again, and I always say art is very hard to objectify. So this is 100% a subjective opinion on things. Beauty is always in the eye of the beholder. So me personally, I've always liked the option 1. It was just kind of clean, kind of balanced, but yeah. And on that video, a few of you tend to agree that option 1 looks good too. But I can't wait. I'm hoping that this is what we're going to see in the future, so we'll see. And then there was some other news here. Apparently, a well-known rail designer, Vergara, apparently he was hired by Amtrak in the 1990s, and he actually designed a lot of the phases for Amtrak, to include, I believe the article was talking about like the Pepsi theme, the red, white, and blue striping, elevated fins for the Amtrak Cascades, and so forth. So these ones I'm not a fan of. I think they're hideous, so I'm kind of glad that we're not going in this direction. But yeah, not for me. So yep, 1, 2, 3, yep. I'm a big fan of 1. I don't know why. There's something about 1 that just looks different. It looks sharp, crisp. I don't know. But yeah, these ones look absolutely hideous. I mean, I understand that, with the tracks here, it's basically trying to signify the first transcontinental from all 3, Canada, US, and Mexico. So I understand the symbolic portion of that. I just don't like the paint scheme. Like, this green's hideous. This blue, meh. I am not a fan of these designs whatsoever. So, yeah. Definitely not a fan of those, so. Okay, oh, breathe pumpkin. Alright guys, so what I need to do right now is I do need to take a quick fiver. Gotta hit the can and all that crap. So with that, I'm gonna leave it on this camera view for right now, and I will be right back. All right, sorry about the guys. I have to hit the can for a little bit there. Oh man, then we got all the guests here. My goodness. All right, let me catch up here. Again, I do apologize, guys. Normally, I don't like to take little breaks like that. All right, let's see. We've got Trackside Mike. How you doing, good sir? I am doing very, very well. We've got Wigwag Workshop. How you doing? I'm hoping you're enjoying all those cookies you've been collecting. We gotta call you the Cookie Monster. I think that's gonna be my nickname for you. Alright, let's see here. What else? We've got having a bonfire ticket. Nice. Cool out tonight. Oh my goodness, it's been hot over here in San Antonio. Like, we got into the hundreds the last couple days. Like right now it is 8 p.m. and my computer still says 99 degrees. It is hot. Tuna Cookie Man, yep. Alright, for those of you who are just joining us, we are running our poor man's big boy excursion train here, in celebration of the big boy making it to Oklahoma, Nebraska. And there are plenty of YouTubers out there that are capturing this movement. Again, this is not 100% accurate by any stretch of the imagination. Let me turn off the music so I'm not fighting over you guys. All right. You're having a bonfire tomorrow. Nice. Very nice. Cool, so let's go ahead and talk about what I got on the screen here. So the Wave modular is fully operational. This is a kind of hourglass type of the track design. It is going from a 3 to 2 back to 2 to a 3, and what this allows me to do is finally get access to that third rail. Something I've been working on the last 2 weeks is getting this modular operational and also laying down the track work for the third rail of the layout. So now I've got access to it. I can park additional trains on it. We can do some mini operations when I figure out how to really capture that in live streaming form. And so that is kind of the way forward. And so let me go ahead and talk about this module a little bit. So it is Pico Code 83 Fremo standard when it comes to the track laying. We've got momentary push buttons there that allow me to go into the DS74. It basically allows me to press it and it'll switch the track for me. I have like 4 or 5 different ways I can control that turnout. I can control it via JMRI, via my iPad or my Samsung pad thing. I also, what's cool about this is that I've got push buttons that Digitrax came out with, and I will show you that right now. So let's go to the Icey rails. That's not the right one, and I actually need to adjust that camera because that camera, hang on, all the cameras, there we go. What camera was that? Huh. Anyways, you can see the modular on this side. So this is the 180 of it. And on the side there, you can actually see a green light. So these little guys are the momentary push buttons that Digitrax came out with. And I will go ahead and show you guys on their website what this is. Because I don't know why, but Digitrax loves to name their things in a way that you got to be a rocket scientist to understand it all. So let's go here, and so those push buttons is basically these DSX CP1 fascia mount switch control device. Now these get connected to this guy, which is a DSX C4, and then that gets routed back to DS74, which has that local net capability. In my next episode of the modular railway update, I'll be going a lot more detail into that modular and how it's all kind of wired from underneath. But I was such in a rush to get that modular up and going that I wanted functionality first, and then we'll record all the information about it. But you guys are kind of getting a sneak peek into that video. So, and I absolutely love this system. Like, I'm a big fan of Digitrax because they do so much more, I think, that allows me to do a lot more. And let me go back to... let's see, so all the cameras, yeah. So those are the fascias. Now, the one thing that I don't like about this system, or I haven't really figured it out, is that really one fascia can control one turnout the way the board works, but I think you can actually, cut the wires, strip it down, and actually wire it manually with soldering and all that in a way that you can connect more fascias to the board itself. Haven't really gone too much into that, but for now I prefer having just the one is fine on the little side there, and it works fine. So eventually I would like to incorporate that with the Phoenix point modular behind me, so that way I can see exactly which way the turnout goes. So right now green is set to mainline, red will obviously be set to the siding or in the throw position, and you can kind of see the big board kind of just rolling over there. Now, ever since I switched out the testing range modular with the Wave modular, I've had no issues with my scale trains, water tenders derailing there. If you guys have been watching some of my other past live streams, I always had issues with height and just usually derailing on the rail joiners because it was different track. The main line for the testing range was microengineering, trying to go to Pico. That was always interesting for the conversion. But now it's all Pico, and it just works. So that is pretty much the new modular in a nutshell. So let's go ahead and let's do this. I'm still trying to get used to this new system because I haven't really set anything up. Okay, come on, you can do it, camera. There we go. So this is basically everything. Again, we've got the brand new 4K cameras hooked up to the old capture card. It's not technically 4K, but it is 1080p, which, you know what, it's going to be the best that we're going to get for right now, so I'm quite happy with what we have. It should look a little bit more clear. It's not, shouldn't be, you know, pixelated per se. Alright, let's, where's my mouse here? The capture card, unfortunately, it has a 2-second delay, so I'm trying to find my mouse. And so it's not easy to switch things around just yet. But what's cool about these new cameras is that we have a nice wide angle viewpoint from each one of them, which is nice. Yeah, I'm going to be really slow with this. So I'll find a better way eventually of doing this, but... Alright, so here's Phoenix Point. As we see our excursion train roll on by. Again, big boy number 4018. And as you can see, the yellow is different depending on which manufacturer it came from. And so I've got a mixture of vrfamily, HC, I think some Icey in there. So it's a Frankenstein train for sure. Alright, so let's kind of talk about the future and where we're going to be going. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up this main camera here. Okay, so a lot of things got checked off in the last 2 weeks. So, you know, we talked about upgrading the camera system. So now we got it fully to 1080, 60 FPS. Capture card's working just fine. The clarity is looking pretty good. This camera I've got to shift over to the left a little bit because I don't like how much it's kind of cutting off the corner over there. So kind of the next steps. So as you can see, we also put up this is the 4 monitor stand that we'll have here. Left side, I'm going to put the chat room so I can see you guys nice and clear. And then the right hand side is going to be my dispatching monitor. So eventually, I'm going to have each of these monitors isolated, and they'll go into a block detection. I'll probably buy more PM74s for power and block detection, so that way it protects them when something shorts. So basically think of it as each modular is their own separate district. It's kind of the direction I'm going for. But yeah, we're slowly upgrading the dispatching. Basically, this is the dispatching control center that I'm working on. As you can see, we've got, again, you can see the 3rd rail is all done. So now we have a massive siding on this side. And then we have another siding over there. So slowly and surely we're getting, I mean, the layout is operational. I can get to every siding that I need to. I can do a whole bunch of different things now, which is nice. Where we go from here now is going to be, my big focus is going to be this corner over here, because this corner, I need to get this up, or I need to replace this modular. As much as I love Harbor Point, let's go ahead and bring up Harbor Point here. Harbor Point has done its job. It allowed me to have a full circle, and it works for, I would say, about 90% of my collection. It's getting to the point that I want to get 100% of my collection operational on this layout. And unfortunately, Harbor Point here has limited my capabilities to run the trains that I really want to run, like my California Zephyr. My Zephyr can only run on the Samurai layout because this corner is just too tight. I believe it's even less than 25 degrees or yeah, 25-degree radius for this corner. It's really tight. The fact that this train is running so smoothly, knock on wood, is a miracle. So kind of the way forward is building the Icey Mountain modular. I'll go ahead and bring that up. I had a video on this from AnyRail. So I'll grab that so you guys can get kind of an idea of where we're going. Alright, so this is just gonna be, let's go here. Give me a hot minute as I get through. Okay, the Icey modular. So I'm gonna get you guys a whole picture here. Okay. So Icey Mountain. So this right here is Icey Mountain. Again, you can watch my AnyRail design on this. So basically the whole design is that turn right there is, I believe, like 31-inch radius turn. And what that's going to allow me to do is run the bigger engines and be consistent throughout the whole turn, whereas this turn is a little bit sketch. And it'll also allow me to go straight. And the whole point of that straight is to get me into Kirby Yard, because I want to have a massive rail yard. I think I've got it designed to 5-track wide. Again, it's gonna be interesting to see how we can get that going, but it's gonna go into the closet, so that way I can store a lot of my rolling stock or passenger trains and so forth. So that way the sidings here on the main line, I can keep it free, or if I want to have another train for a stream, it can be there, or, you know, I can do a very small op session. It just allows me so much more flexibility that I'll be able to have a staging yard on the layout as well. And then kind of the kind of perk behind this too is that I get kind of a it's not necessarily, I can pretend that's an arrival track, but it gives me that additional straight line. I don't know if you got, yeah, you guys can see my mouse. You see this additional straight right here. What I can do is I can put like a little shunter unit right there. And then that way I can say, okay, if I want to get, let's say, the California Zephyr, I put a shunter here, and I can come out and around and grab that passenger train and then probably have it staged on the siding for the big boy to pick up. So it's like those are the type of stories that we can start doing with this layout, which would be kind of cool, because, you know, it'll be kind of cool to do some sort of story based when it comes to this, because normally when we start a stream, you know, I have a train ready to go, but now what we can do is we can actually role play a little bit, like especially when I get my dispatch center kind of squared away. You know, we can have that train, hey, we, you know, get the California Zephyr, all right, we'll get the you know, the Zephyr or the shunter, we can put the camera angles on it moving into that direction and get the passenger train and so forth. So that is the next step. So we got to build Icey Mountain. It's gonna be a little bit more complex, and I think the weight shouldn't be too bad, but we'll see. So that's gonna be my next project when I get a little bit more free time and I can get the budget to build it. So that is definitely in the future, and I am excited for it. Oops, and that's not Phoenix Point. Let's go back to all the cameras. That is Harbor Point, soon to be replaced by Icey Mountain. So again, just pretend that the big boy is going over that switch so it can go straight or to the right with the new Icey Mountain modular. So that is the way forward. Okay, why are you not cooperating all of a sudden? Oh, because I did that. There we go. Boxcar the Husky, how are you? I hope you are doing well. Okay, so I gotta do this. There we go. Again, it's gonna take me a few hot minutes to try to get used to everything here. So again, these security cameras are the 00SSXX camera system. They are technically, they can go up to 4K, but again, we are downsizing to 1080p, 60 FPS. Just vibing. Yep. I get that. Nothing like vibing and watching some trains run around the track. All right, let's get you guys on board our dollar budget excursion train. Let's start with the first view here. All right, so welcome aboard Big Boy 4018 excursion with our UP SD70 ACE number 8312, which you can kind of see the roof there. When I was running this for the very first time, man, I didn't realize how cool this view looked with the diesel, the two tenders, and the big boy right in front. I think this is quite a view, to say the least. So now again, this isn't. You can stop spazzing out. I'll greatly appreciate that, camera. Anyways, these are not HD. Again, these are still the same old camera, so eventually we'll figure out how to get these to the 1080. So again, as I was talking about the Icey Mountain, so from here you'll have the opportunity to go straight into the Kirby Yard or continue left in that 31-degree turn. So this whole section is going to get filled up really quick. You can see my old modulars there, the Dragon's Branch line. Those will go in place of Kirby Yard until I get Kirby Yard built, because I got to build 3 more modulars for Kirby Yard. And then we've got our heritage units there. We've got the big blow gas turbine, and then our version of the Southern Crescent with that Atlantic steamer kind of just parked there. But you can see, thanks to the wave modular, we have access to that track now. And so kind of the future with the wave modular, it's going to be kind of a beach scene. So basically kind of the backstory is that the ocean has crept up over the years, and so the Union Pacific had to adjust their track to go from a full 3-way to a 3-to-2, 2-to-3. Which modular kit are we talking about? Are we talking about those, the N-scale ones? The N-scale T-tracks? Get you guys the 2-camera view here. So on the right, so you can see the front view. On the back, you can see the excursion passenger cars. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard much. Like I said, and again, I apologize to all you N-scale fans out there. We have kind of put N scale and T-track kind of on the back burner for right now. So I haven't really been too much in the news with that stuff. So I'll dig into a boxcar. I'll look into it. The Husky. Or BTH. But yeah, I'll look into it. Yeah, originally the plan was my old camera system, once I got this camera system up to 4K, that old camera system was supposed to go over to the T-track side of the house so I can capture N scale a little bit better. However, again, it's kind of, with my processor chip being fried, none of the cameras probably still function. It's just the brain chip that activates the audio visual for the cameras just doesn't work. So maybe if I replace the box itself, I'll be able to make it work. But again, it is like a 12-year-old box, so it did what it needed to do. Good question, Trackside Mike. So I try my best. It is to Fremo standards, which should be, I believe, 2 inches apart from center line rail to center line rail. It should be. I always get that confused. I think it's 2 inches from center line to center line. Now, is it truly? With my hands, it's probably a little bit bigger and a little bit. It shouldn't be any smaller because I've got a gauge that gives me exactly what I need. And just to make sure that, let's see, track. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 2 inches apart, but let me just double check because I don't want to give you bad info. I just need to find a picture. Yeah, so let me go ahead and bring this up. That's the station. All right, so under freemo.org, free-mo.org, give you all the standards for Fremo modulars, which is what mine's inspired by. Again, my Fremo modulars are standard to track from what the guidance says here, and it's standard to wiring, how everything gets wired up. What's not standard is the height of the modulars. They're a little bit lower, so that way I can see it while I'm sitting down and not have to peek up so high. And the bench work. You can see the bench work here is 26 inches in width. Mine are nowhere near that. Mine are actually 12 inches wide by like 3 foot. So those are the standards. But because track-wise, it is track standards. Again, mine's a little bit. It can still connect to other Fremo modulars. I just need to have higher legs. So. So yeah, the spacing from the center to the outer rail is 2 inches, and then to the inner one is 2 inches as well. Now, when it goes to the exact middle, they're a little bit wider because they need to accommodate for the overhang of like the big boys, of my centipedes, and other diesels that need to swing over as such. So they're a little bit wider. I think they are at the center of the 3 rails on the center point of the turn. I believe they are at least 2.5 to 3 inches. But that's something that you're just going to have to gauge on what you want that to be. Again, from the mentors that I've had, you always want to have that outermost or innermost, depending how you look at it, a little bit wider than the standard of 2 inches. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. Oh, that's an interesting idea. So instead of using it for T-track or for N scale, you were using it for S scale, and I imagine you put that rail in the center. I would imagine you only get like one rail line out of it, though. Let me think about that. I mean, you could, but it'll be kind of awkward to have. You'll have to probably do like the Lego gauge turns of overlapping multiple blocks to get the full radius that you want. I don't know. That's an interesting idea. No, yeah, they've got the. They're able to pass without trains. It's just a little bit deceptive because of my the cameras that are on top. What's interesting about these cameras in particular is let me see if I can get you guys a good. The cameras are high enough because they got a stem to it. You can see it kind of down below. They've got a stem to it, so it actually clears the height of other cars that are on the sides. So it's pretty cool. It kind of works out. I really do enjoy these cameras because they clear a lot of the other obstacles. Now, granted, they are definitely not NMRA standards. They will plow through any tunnel height in NMRA standards. So obviously for a normal layout, they won't fit through tunnels and so forth. I'm kind of designing my end state HO layout, and I'm not going to have any tunnels, but I'm going to have other things that the whole point of my end goal layout is to make it streaming friendly. And so I'm thinking about where I'm going to be placing cameras, like the security cameras. I'm thinking about, this camera train will be kind of cool type of scenery for these cameras. Like one kind of cool thing that I'm inspired by right now, instead of having a tunnel, let's make a design that's similar to the Royal Gorge, where you got basically these two huge mountainsides, and imagine these cameras going through that little river bend between the two crevice mountains, similar to the Royal Gorge. And so it's like I'm thinking about a lot of things like that. It's not necessarily going to be ops friendly. It's going to be stream presentation friendly, and that's what I kind of do because I want to tell a story when it comes to this layout, and I want to be road testing it once we get the Kirby yard set up and dispatching stuff going. So I think that'd be kind of cool. Like, we'll just take it from start to finish. Tell the engineer, start up that engine. All right, JMRI or whatever program decides to use for ops. It's like, okay, we got to get this engine. Let's go ahead and get going. So, I've got a lot of plans for this stream. But for now, it's just, laid back. We'll see it go in a circle. But I kind of want to build up a story to get to this point. Let's see, what else do we got here? So we talked about the KPKC designs, which is, again, kind of interesting. Let's see, new modular, third rail. Let's see what else we can talk about. But yeah, guys, I've got to thank you guys again. You guys, the Icey family, you guys are killing it. We're approaching 1,200 subscribers, which is nuts. Really, really crazy to think about. Yeah, we're about halfway. About 159, I think, last I checked. So, yeah, you guys are killing it, and I greatly appreciate all you guys' support on the channel. Again, I just want, my main goal is to be that gateway to model railroading. which is why, you know, I do a lot of shorts because they are friendly to my schedule. Especially with the last 2 weeks, it's been very difficult to actually do like edited videos. I'm kind of stuck doing the one a week again because of just work and school and all that. So shorts is just an easy way to just get the message out there that this hobby is awesome to do, and so many different trains that's at summer right now, and the reception's been awesome. And I try to do this stream weekly, regardless of how my schedule is, because normally if I got like chores to do, I do it off the stream time. So I try to stay consistent as best as I can. Now granted, I understand Friday evenings everyone's out and about, especially on a holiday weekend like this, but I do appreciate each and every one of you guys coming out here, lurking, watching it on the replay. It helps. Again, just wanna make sure this hobby is healthy, that we get new members, we bring the next generation into it, and you know, it'll be a bonus if you guys learn something from me, because I just do whatever I feel like doing the next day. It's completely random. Let's see. But yeah, again, thank you guys. It's been quite a wild ride. Never had I thought that we'll get this size of a family this quickly. Because I originally thought that, okay, it's probably going to be a year before we get 1,000. Well, by the end of the year we would hit 1,000. Now we're looking at the growth that we've got. We'll probably hit 2,000 by the end of the year. Monetization, as far as emotes and everything, it's going to take a little bit of time just because of watch hours, but again, that's on me to get you guys stuff to enjoy, to watch and everything. And you know, that's the big thing. That's the real big thing. Mystic, how you doing, good sir? How am I set up to adults only? Oh, so that, I think, to my understanding, it's because of the whole COPA thing with YouTube, if that's what I'm thinking about. And I do swear from time to time. I mean, it's rare, but I do swear still, so I just don't want to deal with the whole COPA crap on YouTube, so I do set it to 18 plus. YouTube can take it as it wishes. But I understand too that there are, you know, there's families probably watching. Like I said, I don't know the makeup besides of what YouTube tells me as far as the adult range. And what's interesting about the channel is that it is variety when it comes to age group. Like I've got from 6 all the way up to in the 90s. Like it is nice. But yeah, it's mainly for the stupid COPA crap that YouTube does. I don't mess around with it. It's like, okay, let's do this and whatever. I'll let you guys, you know, decide if this is friendly for you or not. I hate that YouTube tries to dictate that. It's just, yeah, it's just safer. Because then if I don't do that and then, you know, a kid watches and complains about me swearing and so forth, it's whatever. So, yeah, this is a very interesting topic because I don't know if I want to get down this rabbit hole. I don't think I want to. Because, again, it's about model railroading. And so I want you guys to speak your mind on this channel. One of my main goals is to never delete comments. Like, if I screwed up on something, just let me know. The only thing I ask is that when you comment, just don't go against YouTube's terms of service. Because once you cross YouTube's terms of service, then I have to, by the terms of service, delete that comment. Like, I'm tied to that. We're technically all tied to that terms of service. So when you cross that line, I, as a creator, have to then, you know, I gotta follow rules on YouTube, otherwise, I can run my channel getting deleted, which I don't want that. And so, just for the record, if I delete a comment, it's because you violated Twitch's terms of service. Which, again, I know is very subjective, to say the least. I mean, we've all seen it, how subjective the terms of service can be. But generally, even the comments that are... there's some pretty bad comments. There's some pretty bad ones, but it's like... You guys see them from time to time. I just won't respond to it. Because the thing is, even by commenting helps with the growth of the channel via YouTube, the algorithm, and all that stuff. I don't want to bore you with the behind-the-scenes stuff of YouTube, but... So, that's my honest opinion. Other YouTubers may not see it that way. I want to try to promote freedom of speech, regardless of where the topics may go. But there's other YouTubers out there, yeah, even in our community, that, will delete comments. And that's their right and freedom to do. I'm not going to agree or disagree on how how another person's channel is run. I gotta focus on mine. Because the minute I start worrying about other YouTubers and how they do their content, I get burnt out. Like, I gotta stay away from it. So. But yeah, guys, again, we got some awesome creators in here as well. I know Mystic, you do N scale, so give him a follow. Trackside Mike does H-Oak, the Canadian side of the house, so definitely follow him, give him a subscribe. Boxcar, I think you make content. I can't remember. If you do, just let me know, and I'll shout you out as well. No, it's all good. I over-explain to hell and back. I'm a talker because I am passionate about the stuff, so don't be afraid to ask questions. I'll give you a long-winded answer. But the other part of it is I've learned a lot, and I like to share that. Model railroading, streaming, content creation. It's just, I've done this for a while. And that's sad, because I'm going to be doing a video about what model railroading is. And really, you've got these major categories. You've got engineering, which is basically what I'm doing. You run around a train in a circle because you enjoy that stuff. That's how I see it. Then you got the operators, who actually like to, for all intents and purposes, role play with model railroading. You've got the scenic experts, and that consists of painting, of kit bashing, of building. It's just, there's so much within that that main category in itself. And then you got the river counters, who make sure everything is prototypical, 100%, and make sure that it's historically accurate. You've got those that are just big into the electrical work and want to see how far they can take technology with model railroading. Heath's a big example of that. And those that want to construct only to deconstruct because they want to learn the process. And that's perfectly fine. And that's why, when you look at those categories, model railroading is the greatest sandbox, quote, on sandbox hobby. Because there's so many subcategories to it. Yes, Mystic, and I do apologize. The N scale has been put on the back burner maybe a little too long. Again, I'm just so freaking busy. So kind of get you up to speed, Mystic, my old security camera system, I fried it. There was a surge that happened a couple of weeks ago, several times, and it fried the audio-visual chip in my security camera box. The cameras are fine. It's just that chip fried completely. And so we had to rush out and because these cameras are kind of the core to the stream and to what I really love to do. And so we went out and basically upgraded our cameras. So all of these now are actually are 4K capable, but they are downstream down to 1080p 60 FPS right now. There you go. So yeah, and see, that's the great thing about the hobby too. There's different scales for everyone. So yeah, if you're into S scale, go check out Husky's channel. Yeah, I don't mind shouting you guys out. It's definitely been a weird change in atmosphere. Like, you know, I started in the days when Twitch was really becoming a thing, and it was really cutthroat. Like, people make rules saying don't self-promote, you know, don't ask for shout-outs and so forth. But it's like the model railroading community is really the first community I have seen that is just, yeah, feel free to talk about what you're doing. You know, I've seen so many broadcasters advertise other channels. Like, it is quite warming to be a part of this, and especially what's been happening with Twitch lately. I am super thankful that I moved over here to YouTube. So there is no doubt that the world's greatest sandbox hobby has the world's greatest family and those interested and hobbyists into it. Yeah, and see, and that's the key. If I'm not providing, you know, the video, the quality, the trains and so forth to make you have fun, essentially, then I'm not doing my job, and that's what I want to do. There you go. And you guys with your stickers, it's great. I've been slacking on sending mine out, and like I said, I do have my own stickers. Matter of fact, let's get the train cam back up here. So let's do this really quick. So up on this whiteboard, we've got all the stickers here. Again, it's kind of bare, but we'll get it eventually. I'm in no rush. But you can see my two ice dragons there. I've got one that's holographic and one that's not. So basically the way I do is that if you meet me in person, you'll get the holographic one. Kind of an incentive to come out, come talk, come to these meet and greets and so forth. And then non-holographic ones is the one that I will send to you guys eventually by mail. I still gotta do it. Oh, Miss Unlocking Lore, how are you, Maria? Hopefully you're good. If you guys like short stories and just story tales, she's a great presenter in that. I know she's been kind of busy with IRL, but some great storytelling for sure. Wing hugs to you, man. So that is in a different room. So let me grab my 180 camera, because that's probably the best one that can capture it. But I think I kind of moved it so you can't see it. Let's see. Let's grab... So in that room back there is my office. That's where I do a lot of my editing for videos and so forth. Obviously my Massive Sailor Moon collection too. But in that office on the right hand side is where the Ice Dragon is. Yeah, she also does some lovely crochet work as well. So go take a look at her channel. I think she has a link to what she does as far as crocheting. She's also on Twitter as well. But great stuff. And yeah, we used to have, so over, I'm a crazy nut that has this channel plus several other channels. Eventually, when I can do this more full-time, I'll start expanding into my other channels again. I do have an Endless Collectibles channel. We used to do a podcast called Triple C, but just due to so much IRL stuff that's been going on in my life, we just could not really sustain it for right now, but eventually one day we may get that back up and going. But for now, this channel has kind of been growing at a crazy rate, so I kind of just been hyper focused on it. Split Rock, how you doing, good sir? Hopefully you are well. let's get you guys back on the train here. Get you the front camera. Guys are awesome. So yeah, guys, if you haven't also subscribed to Mr. Split Rock, he is awesome when it comes to photography, when it comes to details. Like, he's got a lot of good stuff. His layout is definitely exquisite. So Mystic, I am currently in San Antonio, Texas. It has been hot as hell right now. Currently it is 96 degrees, is what my temperature says. It has been hot. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw, but YouTube also... Let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. So YouTube did an interesting move that I didn't see coming. I don't think anyone saw coming. But they announced something very interesting, which I think I did share on the community page here. Yeah, Mystic, if you ever come out here, let me know. Because I can take you to Samra, the layout that I do all my shorts on. You can see most of my like camera videos and so forth. We can get you operating on the layout too. Yeah, if you guys are ever visiting San Antonio, please let me know. Oh, and that's the other thing we got to talk about too. You guys just reminded me of where I'm going to be. Yeah, Unlocking Lore. He does a lot of photography with model railroading, and so it's actually really, really cool. So you guys remind me of several things. My goodness. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. So we're going to go over on the El Tours. Okay. So, you got a brother in Houston. Nice. So, I was planning on going to Houston for Anime Matsuri, but that kind of got canned. So, unfortunately. But it's fine. Things happen. Okay, so something interesting kind of happened with YouTube. So they came out with this new lower tier for partners. Now, granted, you don't get the full perks. You don't get like ad revenue or anything like that. But the big thing that, you know, I've been kind of hyper focusing on when it comes to partnership is those emotes. So I got a whole bunch of emotes ready to go because, you know, I was an affiliate over at Twitch. So we had a good kind of plethora of that. Oh, yeah, take it easy, Unlocking Lore. Sorry, I didn't read the rest of that. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm glad that you're doing well. Good to see you. So yeah, they came out with this next Thursday. So I believe, oh, I can't remember the time. Yeah, feel free to shout out your time there. But yeah, so this is really interesting. So 500 subscribers, which yeah, we've got. 3 public uploads in the last 90. Well, I do at least 1 a week, so we're good there. It doesn't really say if it's videos or shorts. I think it's either or. In that case, you know, I upload 3 shorts a day anyway, so we're good there. The watch hours is the one that I've got to work personally on. I just got to continue to get you guys. There you go. So 8:15 p.m. There you go. And see, this is why I need the extra monitor, because I'm doing a monitor capture. Just to capture things that I need to, but... Yeah, eventually this will get more cleaned up as I get my other monitors going, but the 3,000 watch hours is where we're kind of short right now, and the problem is you need that in 90 days. That is actually still tough to do. Those watch hours is definitely tough to do. Now, it just depends on my channel. Again, I do a lot of shorts. I love the shorts. I know not a lot of people like it, which is why I'm trying to offset it with the streams, offsetting with some of the camera train content that I do, the rail fanning. I'm getting into the rotation a little bit. So the 3,000 watch hours, again, it's on me to get you guys the quality stuff to watch. And so we're almost at the 2,000. 1 second. Hang on. Let me get you that real quick. I will get that real quick for you, Split Rock. That is easy. Easy, easy, easy. Alright. There we go. There, that should help. Let's go back to the El Twitters. Because I like to spread the love, you know? Alright, so yeah. We're approaching 2,000 watch hours. And so, you know, technically we're about 1,000 away within 90 days. So when this goes live, we could be there to be part of the partner program. So I think this is actually really reasonable for this channel, for this family, and so forth. But again, you guys decide when we get there. So it's like, I'm not in a rush, you know. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. You guys are having fun, and that's really what it's all about. So. Do. Yep, definitely a good thing I don't have tunnels. And we were just talking about that, Split Rock. Yeah, these cameras are definitely not NMRA friendly by any stretch of the imagination. These cameras would definitely get hit by the tunnel and derail everything. And so, kind of the way moving forward, the more I thought about it, my end goal layout would not have any tunnels. Because my layout is going to be centrally focused on presentation and live streaming. So I'll be strategically trying to think about where to place cameras, thinking about the camera train and what good views. Like I said, I've talked about potentially getting a Royal Gorge type of scene where you go in between two mountains in substitution for a tunnel. I think that'd be kind of cool. So I've been thinking about a lot of things for the permanent layout. But again, that's in the distant future. To my understanding, yes. So what you get at the lower tier partnership program is that you get super chats and you get memberships. I think that's the only two perks about it, but that's perfect because then we get those emotes. And obviously it'll be an emote tier list and so forth, but and then once you get to the normal partnership program that we see right now with the 4,000 watch hours and so forth and 1,000 subs, that's when you get the ad revenue from videos and so forth. So YouTube is trying to compete against Twitch's affiliate system. And potentially Kick and so forth. But to me personally, I like sticking here on YouTube because there's a family here. And, okay, I may bore you guys with the business side of things, but for those of you who are interested, when it comes to all of these platforms, you've got YouTube, you've got Twitch, you've got Kick, you've got BitChute, you've got a plethora of others that I'm probably not DLive and so forth. Out of all of these platforms, if you were to ask someone from Australia, if you ask someone from the UK, if you ask one person from, I don't know, Europe and whatever, and you ask them, where do you get your free entertainment and your free content? Which one are you think they're going to name first? Think of it as like Family Feud. True. Okay, you got me there, Split Rock. You got me there. TikTok is definitely, yeah, TikTok for sure. Um, TikTok trainer, nice, 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 nice. Yeah, TikTok's another one I'm looking into, but we'll see. But it's like if you play Family Feud and you list the top 10 answers, everyone, I would bet to argue that the top two answers would be YouTube and now TikTok. Because TikTok is a well-known brand and a well-known name within the generations. That's awesome, Split Rock. Let me grab... There you go. Train Nerd. See, and that's the thing about it. I just don't have enough time to do all the platforms. Like, in the future, I may consider, but right now, I am putting all my eggs in one basket. It is a risk. But to be honest, what I like about YouTube is that the storage capacity and the ability to archive. Like, I think all the other platforms don't have the superior archiving system when it comes to YouTube, because now you can archive shorts. You can get to any shorts that you need to. You can archive videos. The big thing for me is archiving live streams to normal video feeds, and I can present that all on one page. So, and that's kind of the point that I'm getting to. Twitch is a pain in the butt. So I started with Twitch, and it's like, don't get me wrong, Twitch has been good when it used to be before Amazon happened. So Twitch, that type of platform was built on live stream because YouTube was just all videos. And for YouTube, for Twitch, you can't archive the live stream unless you output it, record it and output it as a video on your end and then upload it through a archivable database system that YouTube has. YouTube has the far superior database archive system. And yeah, Twitch used to be for gamers. And then they started to expand into a whole bunch of different categories. Now, hello, Mom and Son, Tammy and Ray. How are you two doing? Again, if another awesome person to follow is Mom and Son Train Rail Fans. They got rail fanning videos. They got a layout that is pretty gnarly. It is nice. I would even argue that it's probably a little bit bigger than mine. It is nice. I love the two rail system that you got going over there, and you're about to expand into the center bit. It is quite a layout. Absolutely not. So so the thing that happened is that Twitch got bought out by Amazon. It became heavily corporatized, and we all thought that they were going to have the all right, take it easy, Railfan K. If you guys haven't subscribed to Railfan K, he is also a major Railfanner as well. Also does Samurai content. So go subscribe to him as well. So yeah, Twitch used to be the place to game and live stream and all that. And that was great because YouTube at the time was not doing live streams. They didn't have the capability to. They tried the YouTube Gaming, which is a separate entity, and that failed absolutely outright. I've always argued, hey, gaming, just make it onto the main website of YouTube. Let me scoot this over here. And so Twitch was doing all this great innovative stuff. Like they created a Twitch affiliate program. They were the leaders in innovation, and I think they still are the leader innovators when it comes to chat interaction and integration and API with the viewers. By far superior. As we've seen lately, Twitch has done a lot of business moves that has hindered their growth. Like, you saw what they were trying to do with the ads for streamers. You know, when it comes to sponsorships, it's crazy. Like, you know, what Humanity Junction Heath does with his in-bed, like, slideshows for his sponsors, for, like, mini prints and so forth, you would not be able to do that over on Twitch, which I think is absolutely wrong. And then on top of that, they take 50-50, and now they've made this new announcement that 70-30 for even, like, you got to be the top tier streamers to even get that 70-30. You have to be, like, 750 subscribers for, like, 3 months concurrently. It is absolutely insane what Twitch is trying to do. And my biggest gripe about Twitch is that they just don't have the superior archive system that YouTube has. I'm not sure if Kick has it or Rumble. I think Rumble is slowly becoming a fairly decent competitor to YouTube. But the thing you've also got to take into consideration, this is kind of my advice too. I am rambling a little bit, so I do apologize. Yep, Discord. Discord's a beast in itself. Absolutely. I love Discord because Discord is going to replace forums. Mark my words. It's going to replace websites. It's going to replace forums. Hot take, maybe for now, but that's the way I see it. So if you're a brand new content creator, you know, which platform would you want to be on? Me personally, YouTube is still the number one for me because it has the massive archiving system that it has with the shorts, videos, and live streams. It is stable. They are a little bit slow on the innovative side, definitely. But for now, it's okay. Yeah, they have some copyright issues. They've got, you know, terms of service, vagueness, and so forth. But as far as the flexibility that you can have, YouTube is fine. My concern about Rumble is that they just went into the stock market, and so the stability of Rumble is questionable for me personally. And Rumble is not, it's slowly growing, but it's a name brand issue. Again, we talk about, you know, we go back to the example of Family Feud, and if you ask a general person out on the street and name them, you know, top 10 social media sites they watch free content on, again, Rumble is probably number 4, number 5 answer. Compared to YouTube, probably be number 1, maybe Facebook number 2, and so forth. And see, and that's exactly, it's another layer to think about is, you know, if you actually want to try to do this full time, right now, I would argue potentially Kick. If you want to try to get into, if you're in here 100% to make money, again, I'm not saying that everyone out there wants to make money right away off of this. Kick is fairly interesting because the issue about Kick has its pros and cons. They're trying to innovate in the way of monetization. Like, they're talking about a 95 to 5% split. They're talking about doing a minimum wage for streamers, like $15 an hour, which is absolutely insane to think about. But there is a catch to that. You know, Kick is owned by a gambling company, I think from Vegas. And anyone can correct me if I'm wrong. So it's like, how stable is that? It could be stable. They may have a crap ton of, you know, casino money to pour into this for the long-term investment to get all those viewers and all those people to come in and do that. So I question if Kick can maintain that motto, but it's like, we got a streamer, if you guys haven't been watching the news lately, I think it broke today, in fact, XQC, which is a big streamer over on Twitch, just signed a $100 million contract with Kick. That is huge. Like, Twitch just lost another top 10 streamer on their platform. So, and see, and that's the thing about it. So, you know, eventually, I would like to do this full time. But you've got to be realistic about it. Like I have a full-time job. Like this is purely a hobby to grow the community and see where it goes. And that's the thing about it is that if you're starting out, you got to treat it as a hobby. And then you just got to, I let you guys, the family, know that, I'm just not going to be available to do this every day. Yeah, it may seem like that with the shorts, granted. But it's like I have a whole nother plan A to ensure that this hobby is sustainable for me personally. Because it makes no sense if I try to do this straight for money, it makes no sense. Because then I will lose everything. And I think that's what people just don't understand is that, everyone's got full-time jobs. And even, poor Heath, he said it perfectly that it's a catch-22. In order to do the stuff that we love, you got to make sure that real life is settled first and foremost. And again, I am a religious person. I don't tend to talk about it on stream here because this is not the channel for it. But again, I thank God for the situation that I'm in. Because I know I'm blessed. I'm blessed by what I have, by the hobbies I have, by the family I have, by you guys here in the chat. The Icey family. I'm not familiar with his business model. But again, I'm here to have fun first and foremost. And number two, to spread the thing about that. And that's perfect advice too. Because and that makes sense because if you do something that you absolutely love to do in the hobby and becomes a job, then you'll lose a thing that helps you de-stress in life. Yeah, so I do 100% agree with that advice. And that's why I'm working, again, I don't talk about what I do for my full-time job. Again, that's a personal thing. On this channel, I just want to focus on the escapism. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's exactly. And let me fix this. See if I can. There we go. Yeah, and that's the thing. They try to do a hobby shop and it burnt out. Yeah, exactly. Let me switch the cameras for you guys, so you guys got plenty of eye candy here. But again, take everything that I say with a grain of salt, because my goals in life may be different than yours. So I'll agree to a point, Split Rock. What I would recommend to those is if you want to get into the personal life on YouTube, or if you want to get into like pop culture, if you want to get into politics, religion, create a whole nother channel. Just create a whole nother channel. Do not intermix the two. And oh man, I didn't realize I was going to talk about this today. I don't know if I still want to talk about it. I'm going to try to do a better job to keep politics out of my channel. For now. I mean, probably forever, but we'll see. Again, I will do a whole nother channel with that type of stuff. But this channel is about escapism, advertising the hobby, and ensuring that it survives in the future. That is my mentality, and that's why I'm pushing myself so hard to do what I do on this channel. And that's the thing. I'm having so much fun doing this. Like, it is refreshing. It is great to talk to like-minded people like you, to connect. That's cool. Yeah, and that's the thing. Always have your plan A first, get real life squared away, and then, focus on other things. Like I've told you guys many times, I have a full-time job. I'm doing this constantly. I do have a family I gotta try to take care of. I God bless my wife. She goes through a lot with me. And then go from there. Yeah, and I understand that, Split Rock. Yeah. Again, I am not here. I take kind of Anthony Dodge's advice because, you know, don't talk about other channels and so forth. I will not talk about other channels, even though I want to talk about it because I'm in the pop culture war. I have another channel that's dedicated to the pop culture war, but I'm not into that right now because I'm having so much fun here. So, I get that. Hello, Quasimodo. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, that exactly. And it's like, and that's why I've got to be careful where I draw my line when it comes to model railroading and and outside influences that may distract escapism. I'll put it that way. Because I don't know if I even want to. Because sadly enough, I had to unfollow another channel. I didn't want to, but I needed to. Yeah. I try Split Rock, but it's been hard the last couple of days because I've seen some things on other channels with this hobby that, oh man, that hurts me so much. It really does. It really does. But it is what it is. So, on this channel, it's called the Mythical Railroad for a reason. It's about escapism. It's about escapism. Oh yeah. Everything is cool. Yeah. So, and please guys, if I cross the line, like if I am affecting escapism, please let me know. Like I need that honest feedback. It's like, hey, Ray Ron, we're steering too much away from escapism, from the main point of model railroading. Feel free to call me out on it. Because you guys keep me in check too. It is a checks and balances between me as a presenter and you guys, my family. So just be honest with me. Don't violate YouTube's terms of service when you do so. Again, it's constructive feedback that I need. So, and that's why I put so much effort into these cameras, into the designing of the layout, because I want it to be escapism for you. And speaking of escapism, let's get you guys back on the train here. And it's been a while since we had the 2-camera view here, so I'll get you guys a 2-camera view of the front and the back here. But again, thank you guys so much. I think this is the biggest audience we've had on the stream. So thank you guys so much for spending your hard-earned time, free time here on a Friday evening with me. So again, I do appreciate that. This is really the only free time I have to actually do live streaming. And so, you know, I just stuck with it and, you know, we'll grow it. And you guys are killing it tonight. You guys, I appreciate all the interaction. Yeah, Split Rock. Let me go ahead and, let me grab those. Because I did buy one thing here recently that I got. So, I will be right back. Okay, so what we got in the mail recently, and you guys have already seen this if you watched my latest camera train video from Samara, and if you've seen some of the shorts that I put out recently. Okay. So these are the scale train silver with silver truck water tenders. And the reason why I got this is because I've got my California Zephyr that's in the silver, paint scheme. And I love having the big boy, having my steamers pull the California Zephyr. And when I saw these from Scale Trains, I've always wanted them. But the price was definitely high. At the time, these were $90 a piece, which was tough to say the least. They put these on sale down to $60, and that's when I grabbed them. Because I've always wanted these. You can see the detail is, it's Scale Trains. Their detail is just on a whole nother level. So that's basically the latest addition in the collection. Nothing too crazy. And eventually what I do with these tenders, I want to grab the Greyhound Challenger and the Greyhound Big Boy eventually. So that way we have an entire silver excursion kind of set. Oh, it is... it is the 1960 Zephyr. So Broadway Limited came out with their California Zephyr set, and so I have a few of those cars. So yeah, they're the silver, the old school ones. I don't think I have my engines. I don't have those engines out, but yeah. Yeah, I got the Broadway Limited California Zephyr. They're not Amtrak. They're pre-Amtrak. Before Amtrak took over the Zephyr line. California Zephyr line. Oh, I definitely appreciate that. I don't think I'm subscribed to Traveling Tom. I think that's the first time I've actually heard of him. Hang on. Yeah, I'll look him up. Yeah, I've got the classics, but you're right. It's not prototypical by any stretch of the imagination. Like, I piss off so many rivet counters because I put my dome cars of the California Zephyr at the back instead of the 4 dome cars that they put in the front, and so it's like well, I piss a lot of people off when they see that. It's like, it's my train, I like it that way. So yeah, definitely another good question, this Split Rock. So I am heavily biased towards the Salt Lake City area. So when I try to model prototypical, again, loose prototypical, I do the line from, I tend to model Denver to Salt Lake to Sacramento. So I have the Denver Rio Grande F units. Again, I have several thousands of videos at this point with those stupid things. I got the Denver Rio Grande going from, I got Denver Rio Grande F units from Denver to Salt Lake. And I've got the Western Pacific Broadway Limiteds from Salt Lake to Sacramento. So I have, so the way, there's a lot in that question. So I think I have 9 cars, and so there's a whole story to it. Let me grab those cars real quick. You got me down a rabbit hole, Split Rock. Give me 1 second. I'll show you. I'll show you how I run it. Okay. Yeah, I don't do CBQ though. Nice. Hey, it's your railroad. Do what you want. It's great. That's why it's called Sandbox. There's no right answer to Sandbox. Okay, so we talk about... Okay, so the way I do my Zephyr... So I've got an A unit and a B unit F9. So here's my F9 Rio Grande. This is the paint scheme I run with it. Eventually, I think I need to get another B unit for this. Again, I don't run typical prototypical Zephyr, but... So, I'm not going to diss on rivet counters. My only thing is, if you're a rivet counter, just be respectful of others. That's all I ask. Like, be human. Yeah, it's Atherin Genesis. Those are Atherin Genesis with the Tsunami 2 decoders. And then from the Broadway Limited, I've got these guys. So here, that is the Western Pacific A unit, and I have two B units. One that's powered and one that's dummy. So that's the thing about mono railroaders, is that we always still try to be humble. That's why I like the community. That's why I like the community. I believe this is... Let's see. Oh no, you're right. It's F3. They all look the same to me. But yeah, no, you're right. It's F3. Good eye. Good eye. Yep, ABB. Yep. That's why I did that way when Broadway announced that they were doing another run of the Western Pacific for the Zephyr colors. Oh, I jumped on that in a heartbeat. And what I'm about to get in soon too, I'll show you what I just got pre-ordered too. Ah, interesting. Stick up higher on the F3s. Huh. That's the thing, it's like I don't look at detail. It's like the detail is all pretty and everything, but differentiating F3 from an F9, from like a Dash 9 to... It's just... The train looks pretty. So... Yeah. But I gotta do a better job on my knowledge, because I'm slacking in that department. Alright, let me show you guys what's coming. Since we're on the topic of the Zephyr, I'll show you what I got pre-ordered. Just gotta find it here. Alright, that's GS4. When Broadway Limited announced this, I was in shock. So, you know, I just showed you guys those F3s from Western Pacific. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. When I saw this, my heart sank. So, Broadway Limited, out of nowhere, announces their GS4s. You know, typical daylight scheme. But then they came out with this. Western Pacific GS4 in the Zephyr color configuration. This was the holy grail for me when I saw this, because can you imagine this train connected with my two tenders, silver tenders, along with the California Zephyr train? You cannot tell me that's going to be the most sexiest train set you've ever seen. So again, this is one of the Broadway Limited. This is the baggage car of the California Zephyr. This is the Silver Bear. Again, each of the California cars had their particular names. So that is my most anticipated train set of the year for me. When I saw it, I was like, gorgeous. Agreed. What I probably need to do is buy another set, take the decals off the Union Pacific and put Western Pacific, and then it'll be even better. It's probably what I'll have to do. Replace the Union, put in Western. Man, you gave me all sorts of ideas. That's actually quite an interesting idea, actually. Dang it. Do I have to get 2 more tenders? So yeah, that's, oh, I didn't mean to close that. Now everything is all jacked up. Okay. Well, hang on. I just did it bad. Pop that out. SP fans are going broke right now. Let me just say that. Oh yeah, don't get me started with the Father's Day sales. Oh gosh. Oh man. Alright, I gotta fix something real quick, guys. Give me 1 hot minute. This is just a side effect of how I've got this all set up. It's just behind the scenes garbage. Okay, I think we're set. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Wow, only 50. That's crazy. Yeah, so let me so yeah, I saw that, and then I was debating on, so this is one of the reasons why I'm kind of broke right now over the summer, because of Broadway Limited. Because I saw that and I had to have it immediately because it fits everything that I'm doing. And then naturally, you know, we've got the typical, you know, daylight configuration of the GS4s. So yeah, there's our typical daylight scheme. This is with the Paragon 4. I love the Paragon 4s. I've had great success with them. Like good programming on JMRI. My little Atlantic, that's a 442 configuration. Let's bring up the 180. So you can kind of see the Atlantic in the distance. That little engine has gone over my unpowered frogs with no stutter. That Keep Alive system they got with the Paragon 4s, oh my gosh, it is solid. And I bought this engine because I always wanted the Atlantic 442 because I love that configuration for the steamers. And now it had the Southern Pacific theming on it, so, you know, naturally I got it. And it's like, it was really a test bed for me to see if it was good on my layout, on the Samura's layout. to see if it would have spots that it would die, especially over isolated frogs. And it passed all of my tests with flying colors. And that gave me kind of the QA that I wanted to see from Broadway Limited, because their Paragon 3s are absolutely freaking trash. So it finally was the nail in the coffin for me to start investing in Broadway Limited a little bit more with the GS4s, because I wanted to invest in Scale Train's MTH collection that they got for the GS4s, but they are taking forever to get those out. And it's like, I'm starting to become a little bit more impatient, and Broadway Limited has been really good, so it's like, okay, I will dive into it a little bit more. So again, Split Rock, it all depends on... I always say that cost is relative. And it comes down to what your situation is. Yeah, it may be expensive, yeah. But again, it's a hobby. It's a hobby for a reason. Because I can look at... if you look at those who do firearms, like one red dot scope is like $200 to $300 from what I've seen. Starting at $100 can go up to $300-400 just for a scope. You know, we look at RC cars, we look at RC planes and so forth, and if you crash an RC plane, oh goodness gracious, there's thousands of dollars gone in that. So I try to keep costs with perspective. And then the big thing about it is that you get the most priceless thing out of these things, especially if you've got a club, bringing happiness and joy to a family and to the next generation, to the kids and so forth. That in itself makes this hobby so good. Yeah, and there's even more to that, Husky. If you guys watch my Roadshow Scale Trains that came to Samara video, what Scale Trains, the president of Scale Trains said, the tooling for the side rods of the steam engines did not come with the deal. So they had to engineer their own side rods, and that's what's got the J-Class delayed, what's got the GS4s delayed, their triplex Erie locomotives delayed. Like, everything got delayed from that purchase. Like, we're almost 2 to 3 years from the MTH purchase, and we're still slowly and surely, and we haven't seen much from that acquisition. Yeah, see, Split Wreck, you got it. You absolutely understand. Yeah, restoring a car. Yeah, buying a base boat. Like, it's all in perspective. And it's like, what is, again, and cost is so subjective to the person. It's like, what, you know, your economical situation. What's going to be worth it to you? You know, some people have families, raise kids. Like, that's what you got, you know, the saying, it's the things you got to think about. And like this whole collection, this whole collection is 20 years old. Like, I started this collection with my father when I was like 5 years old. Because my father was into this hobby. And I've incorporated things that he's collected over the years. So it's like, yeah, I may seem that I have a lot, but it's like any other hobby, any other collections. It just takes time and patience. And like I said, I'm thanking God for all the opportunities that I have now with this. So that's just, you know, my 2 cents. But yeah, I mean, it's exactly right. So. And we're kind of on the topic of pre-orders. Broadway Limited, I am respecting the hell out of them right now, because their next latest announcement, and let me tell you that this is probably the deal of this is actually a really good deal. For many, many, many different reasons. This right here, this is nuts to say the least, how actually a good deal this is. If you're a big fan of the shays, of the geared locomotives, normally right now there is a demand for these engines and supply is not really there. If you want to get something like this, typically you got to get it in brass. Or you have to build it yourself from a roundhouse kit, swap out to a new motor, put a decoder in it, and typically it's a 2-truck, maybe 3-truck shay if you're lucky to find them. Or you're stuck with the Bachmann ones, which I don't recommend because their gears are absolutely crap. I just saw that. That is a great... I think you got the quote of the stream right there. Again, one of these days I'll get this to window, but yeah, I'll put this over there. We'll just do that. Yeah, and that's the thing. I do not want to know how much they're asking for. Like, I would imagine it's probably more than that price. Unless they priced it fairly, but brass is not cheap. Like, because of the supply and demand, because of COVID, because of collectors everywhere, brass went up through the roof. Now, it's coming down a little bit. But it's just, the unfortunate thing is that if you really want the nice, older, unique locomotives, typically you got to go in brass, which is why I've been nudging scale trains to please make my coal turbine from UP. I have it in brass, but I kind of don't want to convert it because it's a pain in the ass. But yeah, I can do that. Give me 1 second. Yeah, we'll get there. I gotta see how, because I'm kind of in a market for a couple. Matter of fact, I'll do you one better. I'll do you one better, Quasimodo. So give me 1 second. So they did post on a live stream. Okay, yeah, let me know because I'm actually kind of curious. But it's like to get a 4-truck shay, no less. 4 trucks are even rarer, in my opinion. So I know why they did a 4-truck, because they probably put the decoder and the speaker and the keep alive all in that tender because they needed that much space for it. But the fact that you're getting a Paragon 4, which is really good, you're getting a geared locomotive shay, even with smoke. You get that with smoke. Now, I don't recommend using smoke with BLI because I've seen horror stories of the main chassis melting. But the fact that you're getting all that for that price, I think that is really freaking good. That is really good. Again, cost is relative. Please keep that in mind when I say good. Again, it's relatively speaking. So I know not everyone has the same financial situations. So yeah, that's love it. All right, so we're talking a lot about the FEFs. So let me do you one better. I'll show you a few things. I love FEFs too. Matter of fact, because I was near, I grew up with having Ogden Station in Utah. And so we had an FEF there at Ogden Station. We had an FEF. We had the Denver Rio Grande diesel that was there. We had the Centennial that was there. And we had the Big Blow turbine, which, if you guys didn't know, the turbine that I have here is the Ogden Station unit. So yeah, it's that way. It's sad, but it is that way. I hate Broadway Limited is on a roll. They are on a roll when it comes to what they're kicking out. Like, I think they got nervous from scale trains. Again, this is why I love competition, why we need to have so many different companies competing, because they probably saw the acquisition from MTH and they realized, oh crap, we need to step up our game because we have all this tooling, we have all this stuff ready to go. And I think they're ahead of it. They're ahead of it. That's why Scale Trains needs to, get stable, get settled into their Tennessee factory, figure out the manufacturing issues, and then let. I'm trying to root for Scale Trains because they do a lot of good. It's just I hope they can compete. Yeah, the Niagaras for $6.99. Yep. Yeah. Okay, Quasimodo. So we're talking about the FEF. So I'm a fan of the FEFs. So this right here is the Greyhound FEF from AHM. I'm a big collector in 90s and 2000s era type of stuff. Yeah, see, that's actually not bad either for Upper Ash 3 truck Shay. But again, you get a 4 truck Shay with the decoder, with sound, with smoke. Shane, yeah. Yep. Yeah, and matter of fact, I was able to talk to him when he came to Samara in San Antonio. So I got to meet him. So yeah, so here's one FEF, the Greyhound scheme. And then this guy I got to convert to DCC. It's a little dusty, but here is your Northern 484 from Athearn Generous. This is only DC, so I got to do the whole conversion to go DCC. I've been lazy, and to be quite frank, when it comes to the 444 configuration, yeah, 444 configuration, or 484, I can't read. Sorry, having a brain fart. I have a crap ton of issues with these, like turn radius issues, switching issues, which is why I'm trying to get this layout pretty perfect, because I want to see this run on the layout. But, oh man, they're gorgeous engines. And I think this is the, yeah, this is the 844. So this is the one that goes on excursions. So yeah, there she is. And she's got the Mars light. I love it when they have the Mars light on the front. It just looks so much cooler. But, yep, there she is. She hasn't been run in a long time. I would say, oh goodness, about 4 or 5 years she hasn't run, because I don't have a DC layout yet. But I do want to convert her over to DCC. Yeah, so here's the thing. Tsunami 2 FEF or Broadway Limited Paragon 4s, like, that is actually becoming... that I love Tsunamis as well. Don't get me wrong, Tsunamis are good. It's just the Paragon 4s are great competitors. I just wish Athearn would invest in the Blunamis. It's just Blunamis have their issues too, because they're not Android compatible. I don't want to go Apple just to do Blunamis. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. That's a whole nother rabbit hole for another day. That's a whole nother rabbit hole for another day. So, yeah, those are your FEFs. Oh, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about Athearn. Matter of fact, I should probably... Broadway Limited does something right. It took me a while to be converted, but they do something right. Broadway Limited, in a way, they package their steam engines in the way I think everyone else should be. Hey, Kevin D. Yep, Samra. How you doing? Awesome. So yeah, I love how Broadway Limited does their packaging for steam engines, because in the clamshell, in the outer shell as well, they keep the tender and they keep the engine together. So that way you can grab the unit as a whole, put it on the track, pick it up, and package it all as one unit. Whereas Atherin, you got to disconnect the wiring. Oh, you've been sick? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Especially with our hot temperatures lately. Yeah, oof. So, I think I think Broadway Limited is doing a lot of right things right now. And don't get me wrong, I still love the Atherin. It's just when it comes to packaging, I prefer Broadway Limited for steam engines because my big boy 4019 with it's an Atherin Genesis Tsunami 1, which I gotta rip that out. The wiring from the tender to the big boy itself to the body, I actually had one wire rip out on me. I was mad. I was madder than a hornet. But luckily, I've got to upgrade that to a Tsunami 2 anyways, or potentially even a Blunami. I'm thinking about putting a Blunami in that big boy. Because that big boy is definitely one of my... I love that engine to pieces. Different plug, but same concept. So with your Bachmans, you typically have two wires that connect and disconnect. So you've got, I believe it's a 4-pin. Yeah, it's a 4-pin and then a 2-pin that you have to separate from the main body. And the Atherin Genesis has it connected. All those pins are connected together. So... yeah. So I'm becoming a huge fan of Broadway Limited. I never thought I would say that because I do have a lot of the older Broadway Limited Paragon ones, Quantum Chip before they had Paragons, before they went and made their own. Paragon 3s were absolutely trash because they didn't have a keep alive system in it, so I stay away from Paragon 3s like the plague. But we're starting to see all these new releases again with these Paragon 4s, especially with the Shay. I am so happy that this is happening because with Paragon 4 and the Paragon 4 keep alive with the Shay, not gonna have any issues. I am super, super excited for this. Coming out next year in 2024. Yep, and I am right there with you. I've got some boxes as well. Yep, I've had plenty of friends that have torn that wire and they can't really fix it. They have to send it back to the factory. Yep, I did an Icey Rail news video about this, and when they announced the price, I was like, sold. I got mine pre-order. I cannot wait for it to come in. Because I've got this actually, what's cool about this is that for their Shays in particular, there's a unpainted variant. So, again, I am not sponsored by Train World. I just want to make that clear right now. I love their pre-ordering system, which is why I go through them. So, yeah, again, hashtag not sponsored in any way. I just think they have some of the better interface. And they come in stealth. I'm not a fan of stealth, to be honest with you. But, yeah, it is what it is. But, they've got these undecorated ones. Oh, that's an MTH. Nope, stop. That's old scale. Don't care about it. Anyways, you guys get the idea. You guys get the idea, so... I need to look at that. I need to look at that paint scheme, Quasi. I don't think I've seen that scheme. Let's see here. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh my gosh. Yikes. Alright, let me take a look at this paint scheme real quick. What do we got here? Let's see. I'll probably have to do some research off. Is it this one? Is it this black and yellow type of configuration? It's not bad. It's an interesting scheme. Yeah, it's different. Again, we got this little yellow here. The handrails are yellow. It's an interesting. It might not like a bumblebee per se, but it's a cute little switcher. I like it. Yeah, not bad. Let me get you guys to some trains here. Let's get you guys back on our engine here. You see enough of my ugly face. Let's get you guys. There we go. Yeah, I hate to say it, but it's like, you know, I've had a lot of good, do some good business with Train World. Atlas continues to be a giant nightmare for me on pre-orders. I've had some nightmares with them. But yeah, everything's cool. Man, you guys are getting me on brass. Oh, I appreciate that, Echo. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys don't know, I've got a 360 camera now that you guys can literally see it in 360. You can move your phone around, or if you have the VR goggles like the Oculus or the Vive, or now the PSVR 2 or PS5 VR 2. You can actually put goggles on and look at the camera layout in 360. I did a test sample on this layout just to make sure that I got the camera work, the editing, and all the behind-the-scenes stuff squared away as a test. So, no, I appreciate that. Again, I'm just trying to find ways for you guys to enjoy model railroading. That is my first and foremost #1 goal. And since we're kind of talking about the camera, so yeah, you guys on the train right now. Did I just close that? Okay, I didn't close that. But S-Scale is making a comeback. Like, I'm starting to see S-Scales regularly. Scale Trains is getting into S-Scale. Like, it's growing. It's growing. There's a demand out there. So, interesting thing, you should say that, Echo Hunter. The only place that I've seen that you can do this, if you go to the Colorado Model Railroad Museum, they actually have a camera train that is set up to I think it's an F3 and F9 cab, that you can control the throttles and actually control the engine on the layout. Now that is next level of technology. Like, the one thing that's stopping me from doing that is you've got to learn hardcore coding. Like, you gotta understand how to code in open source. You know, Arduino is probably part of that too. That's next level of technology that I don't have the brain power for. I typically go with commercial products. So yeah, just do some research on YouTube. The Colorado Model Railroad Museum, they have the camera. So, hi, can I help you? Yeah, I love you too. And that's all that matters. As long as you're getting excited, getting happy, you know, that's So here's the thing, Echo. There there are some layouts out there that are trying to do virtual operations. They've almost cracked the code. Like some layouts do. There's a lot of limitations, like internet bandwidth and so forth. But I've seen people work from home, a dispatcher or drive a train on a layout that's clear across the country. Yeah, she's a tortoiseshell. She has a twin. This is Mary. I call her the superintendent of the railway. So if you're into that stuff, if you're really interested in that stuff, Echo, there's a channel called Humanity City Junction. He goes by Heath. He's trying to take tech to a whole new level. I think you'll be impressed by that. But we've also got a lot of other great YouTubers here, like Boxcars and that scale. We've got Split Rock that does content HO scale. We got a whole bunch of content creators here, so it's a small world. Nice. And what I plan to do is on my website, because I do have a website. It's kind of dated right now. I got to update it and everything, but I plan to have a page that has all the YouTubers, the schedules, and all that. Just haven't had a chance to really get squared away. So, old powerhouse. Interesting. Okay, so a few couple questions. Does the motor run for one? Obviously, I imagine it's DC. So that's even as a parts engine, that's still a really good deal either way. So if you've tested it and it runs on DC, then I say that's a good deal. Like, I still have a lot of DC equipment. Like, oh boy, I can go into this rabbit hole. So, a lot of people I don't want to say this either. DC has its place. DC is meant for entry, in my opinion, it's meant for entry level. And it is needed because we need the entry level equipment to be cheap, but still be good, that it'll eventually be the stepping stone into going into DCC. It's a great place to get your hands wet. So DC is definitely needed. I will fight for that tooth and nail. Because you always need a cheap, economic ways to get into a hobby. Sometimes you don't have that. And that's the great thing about model railroading, is that, you know, as much as I tend to bash Bachmann is very important to the hobby because it is still technically that entry level into the hobby. I know we got Atherin and Walthers that are getting into the market as well, but those starter sets, like, my origins is from Bachmann. I got the Bachmann Spectrum when it came out with their Easy Track, with the first 3 sets that had the Bachmann Easy Track system, and I ran that train to the ground. It was the Amtrak with the single passenger cars. It came with 3, and the old diesel engine, the black and white. I can't remember the exact name of that diesel, but man, I ran that train into the ground. Yep, exactly, spare parts. Absolutely. So. Yeah. I will let you know, like, don't get me wrong, Bachmann has come out with, they've got the license right now for, alright, Trackside Mike, take it easy. Don't forget to give Trackside Mike a follow. He has a podcast, along with an HO layout, focuses on Canadian Pacific, I believe. If I remember correctly, or Canadian National, well, maybe I can't quite remember. She has a couple times. She would love to bite my nose. Exactly. Yep. Yep. So yeah, and that's the key is affordable, and it is the entry level that the hobby needs to ensure that people can get hooked. So Bachman is absolutely needed, and I was really impressed when they made the switch from their own DCC system to WoW Sound with TCS, and that was a great move for them because I'm impressed with their latest, the newest Amtrak engine that just came out for the diesel line. Um, I was able to run a friend's version, and that engine was just gorgeous. Great detail. The TCS WoW Sound decoder sounded great. Um, and so forth. Oh my goodness, I can imagine. Yeah, I am completely naive. Anything outside of HO and N. I mean, I understand the basics of Lionel, but I'm really naive. Same with Esco. Again, my focus is typically I focus a lot on Digitrax. I focus a lot on just trains operating and running them and modular layouts really. And then I just do a lot of in between stuff. Interesting. You know, I've heard mixed feelings about the economy decoders. But hey, if they're working for you, that's awesome. But yeah, I'm really excited where things are going. The family's growing, guys. Family's growing again. We're close. We're closing in on that 1,200 subscribers. Closing in on those watch hours. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the layout. So yeah, I'll do my best. Like I said, I typically live stream during this time, but typically the second Friday of the month, I will not be streaming due to Samurai's general membership meeting. So I tend to miss that, and I'll be on Saturday over on the second Saturday of the month. I'll be on RD stream is what I'm gonna try to do. So you guys will at least get me somewhere once a week. Yeah, and that's a great skill to have. Like I'm slowly now. I got to give a lot of credit to two YouTubers that really helped me repair things. You guys know one obviously. That's SMT Mainline. Like he is the king when it comes to repairing DC engines, hands down. I've learned so much from him. And then the other one that I've been learning to do decoders is Solo Contracting is the other YouTuber that I watch to install decoders. Nice. Well, I'll definitely see you there. Remind me, Echo. I have stickers. So a big thing about YouTube is that a lot of people have their own stickers. I'll try to get you one. I should have some left. So just remind me. So it's a thing when it comes to the model railroading YouTubers is to have channel specific stickers. And people collect it like trading cards. It's so great. I love it. I love the community. So. Alright, let's get you guys some rail fanning shots here. So we're coming up on the 180 here. Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yep, yep, yep. Yeah, and that's the thing about clubs is that each person has their own expertise. And so, you know, you got that one person that fixes everything. You got that one person that knows the wiring, that knows the track. And that's the great thing about a club. So... uh... Okay, Quasi. I'll have to look into that as well. Appreciate that. Elite 194. Okay. Yep. I was like that too. And so I got hooked on Digitrax. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. You do need a... one requirement for Digitrax is that you do need a... oh my goodness. This joke's going to go out the window really quick if I can't remember the punchline. You need to be a rocket scientist to understand Digitrax. Because it's very heavily techy. But once you figure it out, it's actually pretty cool. I appreciate that. So yeah, this is... so the whole theme of this episode is that these are security cameras. I had to upgrade them. So technically they can go up to 4K, but right now they're just 1080p, 60 FPS. And so it's just to get more clarity. So yeah, this is my modular layout. It is inspired by Fremo. But it's a little bit smaller in the framework. Nice. So the way I clean my track is through a cleaning train. Now, if you haven't seen my video on it, just search this channel and look for the cleaning train. My cleaning train consists of a vacuum car, the clean machine, I think it's called the CMX clean machine, the center line roller, like 3 Bachmann cleaning pads, and one car that has the monkey bar cleaners, and then one caboose old IHC car. So it's like each car does something particular to clean a track. And I also, for the CMX clean machine, I use 91% alcohol, but I do eventually want to find 99% alcohol. I have tried mineral spirits. The issue with mineral spirits is that once you get on a track, I still run plastic wheels. And so it's great at cleaning the track, but it's also great cleaning my plastic wheels, which then get back onto the track. So yeah. That's why I switched back to the alcohol. But again, that's just take my advice with a grain of salt. Figure out what works best for you. Do trial and error. Do your research. Experiment. And figure out what works best for you. So... So that's an interesting question. So I've always been loyal to the easy Bachmann system. It's just what I have. If I were to do this all over again, so I mean this is a whole bunch of different questions. So if you want accessibility early on, go with Bachmann because you can typically find the tracks. But if you have a good hobby store nearby, go with Kato HO track because I've seen how good, or Kato, Kato, whatever you call it. Their system for N scale, and especially with the T-Track system, I am jealous. Absolutely jealous. Like, if I were to do this hobby over again, I would do N scale T-Track in a heartbeat. And this would probably be completely different. But I started with HO, and I've been a diehard fan of HO. But I am getting into the world of N scale and T-Track. So, yeah. So again, with my cleaning train, my vacuum car cleans up a lot of what the cats put on the track. So I don't have too much of an issue. As a matter of fact, since we're on this topic of clean, man, you guys got me on all the topics today. Okay. So we're on the topic of cleaning. Let me show you guys my cleaning train. And Echo, you may have actually seen this before. If not, you'll definitely will see it at Samurai from time to time. Okay, so this is my vacuum car. So this goes first to pick up all that loose debris, hair, extra ballast. So this, again, this was converted. This is a DCC ready vacuum. You gotta put a decoder in there. So I have a Digitrax decoder. So that way you use your throttle to control the speed of the vacuum to pick things up. The next thing that I have right behind it is the CMX clean machine. So this is what I put my alcohol in. It goes on the pad, drips that alcohol on there. And then I have the centerline roller here. The purpose of this is to pick up any excess alcohol and cleans the track as well. As you can see, this is from the last Samurai cleanup that I did. I got to replace this roller, but we picked up quite a bit. Yeah, it's worth it though. It's absolutely worth it. You'll see how much that car picks up on the Samurai layout when you get a chance. It's crazy. Like, if we get the opportunity, I'll probably run it once on the layout on Sunday, and I'll show you just how much it picks up. And matter of fact, you should look at my video here, and you'll see all the debris it picks up. It's nuts, even on my layout. Nice. So yeah, I got those, and then I just got you know, several stereotypical Bachmann scrubby pads, because again, they do the legwork into actually scrubbing the track. Just for the kids, we got the horsies here with the cattle, with the monkey bar cleaners here. And then I've got the last and final scrubby pad caboose that completes the cleaning train. Yeah, and that's with any layout, really. It's from I think I'm getting the name wrong, but it comes from Woodland Scenics. That's who makes them. They're okay, but I wouldn't recommend them by themselves. I mean, it is a cheap way to do it, but for me personally, I think you would need some other cars to help it out. It's just another layer to clean the track. Yeah, if I had a little bit more time, I would actually run the train today, but... Alright, let's go back to that. And that was the whole point. Yeah, my wife actually did a lot of research, and then she found, you know, a person that did a very similar method, but we added a few more cars to it, and we realized, oh, that's actually the way to go. At least for us, because then you just have the train clean the track. So, yep, absolutely. Well, this excursion train's been going pretty darn well. I'm actually quite surprised. Again, knock on wood. But, she's been a good runner. Been a very good runner. So, it's not weird. In fact, I know it's here somewhere, but I'm not sure where I put it. That's flux. That's Loctite. I know I have it here somewhere. I know exactly what you're talking about. I just need to find it. It's here somewhere, but I've got the Ox Guard too. Yep. Not only that, Echo, but having more blocks and more circuit breakers in those blocks is key. And that's why I like Digitrax, because they have what's called a PM74. It allows the breakage to create the blocks, and it has local net, and it has internal circuit breakers as well. It's not as loud as the PSX that you typically hear on modular layouts and at Samurai Club. It's a clicking sound when it shorts with Digitrax, not the audible tone that you hear. But it still serves the same purpose. Yeah, because my PM74s allow me a lot of things. Circuit breaker protection, block breakage, and block detection that's critical for JMRI. Which is eventually my end goal for this setup. Because I want to have my dispatcher board with the block detection, so that way I know exactly which block and where the train is at from a layout dispatcher perspective. So that's the end goal. So they... It depends. It should. I know with the Paragon 4s, I noticed that when there's a short, it'll run for a little bit more, and then it'll die. I'm not too much of an expert when it gets into the technical weeds of that. I can only tell you from my trial and error experiences. So, but it's always recommended to it's always recommended to have one. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, keep alives is a must, especially if you're on a club layout. It just protects... It protects the decoder. To a degree. Again, if you get enough high amperage to the system, it'll fry it regardless, but... Again, knock on wood, haven't had too much of an issue with that. Because again, a good layout will have multiple blocks to ensure that if something shorts, it's only in that section. And I think Samurai's blocks are location-based and not track-based, which is something I hope we can get fixed, but I know that's a monumental task in itself. but in due time. In due time. Since we're kind of on the topic of power, I don't know if I met him. Yeah. Alright, I think what we're gonna do, guys. Oh, nothing much. We're just, you know, shooting the shit, as they would say. We're just talking about everything and anything. Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely have to look into that. So I think we're going to start demonstrating this modular, is what I kind of want to do. Since this is kind of, again, I haven't even showcased this new modular, really. Oh, camera, you can stop now, thank you. Alright, so what we're going to do, so what, can I bring up my face cam? Let's do this too. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Hang on. Where's my showcase? Showcasing. And me. There we go. It's all good. Again, we all have real lives. You know, we gotta come and go. I just appreciate that you stopped by. Again, it's a Friday evening. You guys stopped by in my little corner of the internet. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys what I use to control this. Yep, the big boy is out. It's we're kind of celebrating that the big boy's in Omaha, so it's like, you know what? Let's run the big boy on the layout today. And for the first time, we've actually got a diesel connected to it. Obviously, it's not the right diesel. It's not prototypical by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just capturing the spirit of it. So, give me 1 second. Okay. So what's cool about Digitrax is that I can control my switches from this little tablet. This is a Samsung tablet here. And so right now I'm just controlling my two engines. You know, I got them not necessarily speed match, but matched in a way that they won't destroy my couplers. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that in parts. And so since we've got a DS74 in that modular, I can control that switch from here. And so what we're going to do, once the train goes by, I'm going to switch that train onto the siding. Okay, so we're going to do just me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here. We're going to go over the turnouts. My turnouts have a signature or a number to it. That's number 2. We're going to go ahead and throw it. No, close it. No, you want to throw it. And of course it's not responding. Why are you not responding? Oh, because I couldn't hear it. That's why. Okay, so we've thrown it. And make sure this is closed. Okay, so that's closed. So let's go back to... where's my showcase? There it is. So now, the big boy should be going onto the siding, going to the left. And then we're going to park it. Now I'm probably going a little bit too fast here, but... All right, and there we go. We got the big boy switched over, and we're gonna park it. So I was able to switch it from this tablet. So now we're on that third rail. I'm hoping I have enough space. I should. And now I just parked that entire train onto this long siding. And stop and stop. All right, and there we go. That is parked on the side. So let's go ahead and bring out okay, so that is a very long-winded answer I got to give to you. So, the old school Digitrax system, so it depends on what type of controller, and it depends on the command station. You've got a legacy system of Digitrax, and you have the newer system of Digitrax. And so, when you think about older, you're thinking about the old command system that's typically the DCS 50, the DCS 100 series. That's all legacy stuff. So if you try to use like the new 600 series from Digitrax, I don't know if it's going to work on the old 100 DCS command station. That I don't know. But when it comes to command stations and boosters, you got to stay with legacy, and with the power to that system, you got to keep it legacy together. If you get like the newer systems, the 240, the 220 boosters and so forth, make sure you keep it with the new system. So again, when you're doing Digitrax, do a little bit of research to understand legacy versus the newer system. And so what I use to control the system, and I should really use my camera, but I don't have that set up. How much space do I have? Okay, I have enough space here. Okay, so the way I do it is that I've got my DCS 52. This is my command station of the whole layout. It is going to, again, there's a kind of a mess, but over here, let me close this real quick. Okay, this is my PM74. This is what allows me to have 4 blocks. So I've got each one of these modulars is isolated. It's isolated underneath, and it's isolated on the rails, and it's going straight to my PM74. This is what gives me my circuit breaker protection and my block detection. This is an SE74. This is for my signals that I don't have operational anymore, so that's actually going to be getting rid of for a little bit. And that's pretty much it. That's my Digitrax setup for right now. I plan on eventually getting the 240 command station with 220 boosters and really having a nice setup over here so you guys can see how a layout operates with Digitrax. Not there yet, because just to get all the equipment that I need is $500, which is the cost of an engine. So I'm focusing on engines right now versus the layout. We'll get there in time. We'll get there in time. So when it comes to Arduinos, especially DCC++, all that stuff, that is the ultimate sandbox when it comes to controlling your model railway. So for Arduinos, it's basically you can control all of the code, because to my understanding it's mostly open source, so you can go in there and just go ham on coding. Oh yeah. So, Husky, something that I would probably recommend is I do have How Far Can We Take Digitrax series. I think I've got like 4 or 5 episodes that'll show you exactly what I have with Digitrax and where I plan to go. It's kind of on hiatus right now because of just financial reasons. But I recommend just looking at it and then, just explore other YouTube channels from there to see how far you can take it. So yeah, what I need to do now is we're gonna go back to our layout. So another thing I can show you guys real quick. All cameras, and I bet you if I go to this camera view, you can see this. So since I was able to divert, come on, open this up. So now you can take a look at my wave modular. Underneath that track, you see like those two push buttons. One is green, one is red. So that tells me that it is diverging on it. Now I'm gonna go back to my tablet, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw number 2 back to close. And look, it turned green. That is, I love Digitrax because that is their own push button toggle system to let you know when it's green, when it's red, and so forth. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go ahead and throw number 1. And now it's turned to red, which means now we can bring out another train. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So that is the beauty of this system. That modular I can control from at least 4 different ways. I can press the push button on there, on the side. I can push the push button that's on top next to the throw. I can control it from my tablet. I can control it from a Digitrax throttle. I can control it from JMRI. So the big boy I've been running for about 2 hours. We're going to bring out one more engine just to run for a little bit, and I think we'll call it there. I kind of want to run this train because this train's been one of my favorites lately. So let's go ahead and bring out the 180 camera. And we'll bring this engine out. I'm hoping it doesn't derail, but we'll see. I'm going to release you. We're going to select you. All right. And let's bring out our Atlantic. No, wrong way. Oh, I'm messing it all up. So this is the Broadway Limited Paragon 4 Atlantic 442 steam engine. Again, this is the Fantasy Southern Pacific scheme. All right. And then now what's cool about this is that I can go back to my camera. So, funny story about this. So, let me go ahead and turn the switch back. This camera view is actually perfect because you can see the colors down below of the modular. And I'm going to throw this. So that is closed. And now we're back to green, which is back on mainline. Now, I don't have my 180 cameras on that train, but we'll bring all the cameras. Cool. And I want to bring up Phoenix Point. There's Phoenix Point. You know, we kind of joke around about, you know, the whole business side of YouTube and everything and memberships and so forth. And one of the big things that I want to do when we get to that point, and again, you guys decide when we make these milestones, I want to do a lot more giveaways. But there's still so much that I need to invest right now on the side to get this to where I need it to be, that I can't really do giveaways right now, nor do I... It's one of those things I got to be careful with. Because, again, I wanted to promote the hobby, not promote that, hey, I give away free stuff all the time. So I've been toying with a lot of ideas. I got things in the background that I want to do. But it's like everything that we do, all the donations that, you know, potentially get, the membership and so forth, that's going to go all right back into the channel, and it's going to be definitely more giveaways as a result. That is still more to come. Again, I'm more focused on the model railroading aspect. But you can have my promise that I want to do giveaways, trust me. And not only that, I want to do more. I want to do charities too. That's another big thing. But again, with due time. Yeah, and another thing too, I kind of just remembered. I want to get myself another 360 camera that I can control up, down, left, and right. Because this I can only go from left to right. There's beautiful cameras out there that I can go left, right, up or down, and 1 to 2 to 3 times zoom. So I'm thinking that's going to be my next camera. Because this 180 camera captures the front end of the layout. I want to get another one to capture the back side too. This gives me more flexibility. But no, Quasi, I will be foreverly humbled if we ever do get to 1 million. It's tough. Like, you look at some of the top model railroading streamers out there or YouTubers out there, and it's like, you know, the most biggest one that I've seen is Trains Are Fun at like 173,000 subs. I haven't seen anyone higher than that. I mean, Hype or Heis. I think he can get there. Obviously, SMT Mainline is way up there. I'm trying to think, is there a 1 million sub channel? I don't think there is. If there is, I'm not aware of it. Sam's Trains is up there too. But again, I try not to worry about that stuff. I am grateful for the family that I have here. Like I said, I'm blown away that I'm at 1,200 right now. I'm almost at 1,200. That's ridiculous, to say the least. Like, we're on path to getting 2,000 by the end of the year. Like, that, you guys humble me. I appreciate each and every one of you. And, again, another big mission of mine is that when you hit that subscribe button, I want you guys to make sure that pressing that button was worth it. Because it does mean a lot to me. Because, you know, it's really, you know, an informal contract that you guys like something that you saw on my channel and make the extra effort to get more. Now, I am a crazy animal that, you know, I do 3 shorts a day. I try to do 1 video a day, but that's kind of slowed down to 1 a week right now. And then I do 1 live stream a week. Like I said, I'm hoping that I can present model railroading in a way that you guys can sit back, relax, and just enjoy escapism. Again, I'm not that type of person that would stream like scratch building or painting something. It is part of the hobby. It is definitely something that I do and like to do. It's just I don't like to showcase or present it as other streamers and content creators do. And I would generally, if you want to see that type of stuff, I would generally reference you to them. Because again, I'm just, when it comes to that part of the hobby, it's a luxury escapism for me, and I listen to a lot of different music when I do it, and I get into a totally different zone when I build models, when I build buildings, when I get into scratch building, because I do a lot of that stuff on the side. I just don't showcase it. Now, one thing that I am excited to showcase soon is 3D printing. I got my first 3D printer, and I'm excited to see what kind of rabbit holes and troubles I can get myself into it, so. And I appreciate that, Mystic. I know you were here from the very, very beginning, so again, I do appreciate that. Alright, take it easy, Mystic. Yeah, I'm just gonna run this train probably for a few more laps. There's just something about this Atlantic that I'm just in love with. And this Broadway Limited Paragon 4 is just, that sound is just so meaty. I think you guys can hear it. It is quite a sound. Yeah, again, it's not for everyone. You just gotta figure out what works for you, and grab it by the horns. Oh, is this? Oh, interesting. No, stop. And there she is, the 442 Atlantic from Broadway Limited Paragon 4. And as I was mentioning earlier, this had no problems on my switches. These two turnouts are actually unifrogs, but right now they're wired as isofrogs. I still gotta wire them from the tortoises to the actual frogs itself, so that way they can get powered. But you saw no stuttering, no derailments. Like, this engine won me over with the Paragon 4s in Broadway Limited. It's just a gorgeous thing. So it's like, I'm excited to get the GS4s. Really, really excited. Alrighty. Alright guys, so I think with that, we shall call it a stream. We shall call it a stream. Thank you guys so much for coming out today. Again, we put a solid 3 hours into this. Thank you guys so much for all the conversations. Again, I enjoy it. I love talking to you guys. We went on so many rabbit holes today. I think that is a record for the Icey Railway podcast for the amount of topics that you guys were interested in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, found some use out of it, learned a few things. Who knows? But I'm just a dragon with a layout that goes around me. So, all right. So what's coming up? Again, a lot more shorts. I'm gonna get back into the rhythm of getting one main line video out this week. I've got plethora of 360 videos, camera train videos. I've got some more beyond the Icey Railway videos. So yeah, a lot more to come. So again, I want your subscription and your bell icon to mean something, and that's what I'm here to do, and provide that escapism. So with it guys, thank you so much, wing hugs, and I'll see you next time.